Hello for the 32nd Sunday in Ordinary Time and only using the Old Testament first reading from Maccabees. Maccabees chapter 7, verses 1 to 2 and verses 9 to 14. And that's not all, but I'm going to tell you the rest of the story or read you the rest of the story. Well, here today's that reading really is a powerful reading, and it deals with a mother and her 7 sons, 7 brothers, and they're executed because they're asked or told to violate the law of Moses and eat the pork, eat the meat. And they refuse to, and they and their mother are all killed. Well, if you read the reading that I have posted there, you get the first 4 brothers. Well, the first brother, he says, we are ready to die rather than transgress the law. We will not eat it. The second brother says, the king of the world will raise us up to live again forever. Sounds like Jesus in the New Testament. The third brother, before he's killed, he says, he puts out his tongue and his hands, and he says, I hope to get them back again in the next life, in the resurrection. And finally, the fourth brother, which we just read, God gives me hope that I will be raised up again. But for you killers, there will be no resurrection for you. And that's the end of the reading today. Wow. What about the mother and the other brothers, the fifth, sixth, and seventh brother? What happened to them? Well, that's the rest of the story. I'm sorry, but I can only read it to you and try to be a little bit dramatic in reading it to you because it's not there. I don't understand, but it's not there. Well, it goes like this. The fifth brother. They next brought forward the fifth brother and maltreated him. Looking at the king, he said, since you have power among men, mortal though you are, do you want to please? But do not think that our nation is forsaken by God. Only wait, and you will see how his great power will torment you and your descendants. The fifth brother, and he refuses, and they kill him. The sixth brother. After him, they brought the sixth brother. When he was about to die, he said, have no vain illusions. We suffer these things on our own account, because we have sinned against our God. That is why such astonishing things happen to us. Do not think then that you will go unpunished for having dared to fight against God. He said it to the king and the torturers. This, and then what about the mother? What about the mother? Well, it says there in verse 20 to 23. Most admirable and worthy of every everlasting remembrance was the mother who saw her 7 sons perish in a single day, yet bore it courageously because of her hope in the Lord. Filled with a noble spirit that stirred her womanly heart with manly courage, she exhorted each of them in the language of their forefathers with these words, I do not know how you came into existence in my womb. It was not I who gave you the breath of life, nor was it I who set in order the elements with which each of you is composed. Therefore, since it is the creator of the universe who shapes each person's beginning as he brings about the origin of everything, He, in his mercy, will give you back both breath and life, because you now disregard yourselves for the sake of the law. What a mother. What a faith, or a belief deeply in God. Well, there's also one left, the seventh brother, the youngest of them all. And then it goes in and explains that. This is wild truth pre-Jesus, folks. Verse 24. Antiochus, suspecting insult in her wounds, and what the mother said, thought he was being ridiculed. As the youngest brother was still alive, the king appealed to him not with mere words, but with promises of oath to make him rich and happy. If he would abandon his ancestral customs, he would make him his friend and trust him with high office. But the youth paid no attention to him at all. The king appealed to the mother, urging her to advise her boy to save his life. After he had urged her for a long time, she went through the motions of persuading her son. In derision of the cruel tyrant, she leaned over close to her son and said in her native language, "Son, have pity on me, who carried you in my womb for 9 months, nursed you for 3 years, brought you up, educated, supported you to your present age. I beg you, child, to look at the heavens and the earth and see all that is in them. Then you will know that God did not make them out of existing things, and in the same way the human race came into existence. Do not be afraid of this executioner, but be worthy of your brothers and accept death, so that in the time of mercy I may receive you again." So had scarcely finished speaking when the youth said this. Number 7, the rest of the story. "What are you waiting for? I will not obey the king's command. I obey the command of the law given to our forefathers through Moses. But you have contrived every kind of affliction of the Hebrews, will not escape the hands of God. We indeed are suffering because of our sins. Though our living God treats us harshly for a little while to correct us with chastisements, he will again be reconciled with his servants. But you, wretch, vilest of all men, do not in your insolence concern yourself with unfounded hopes as you raise your hand against the children of heaven. You have not yet escaped the judgment of the Almighty, all-seeing God. My brothers, after enduring brief pain, have drunk of never-failing life under God's covenant. But you, by the judgment of God, shall receive just punishment for your arrogance. Like my brothers, I offer my body and my life for our ancestral laws, imploring God to show mercy soon to our nation, and by afflictions and blows to make you confess that he alone is God. Through me and my brothers, may there be an end to the wrath of the Almighty that has justly fallen on our whole nation." At that, the king became enraged and treated him even worse than the others, since he bitterly resented the boy's contempt. Thus he died too, undefiled, putting all his trust in the Lord. And the mother was last to die after her sons. Well, folks, I just find that is an unbelievable power story about afterlife and what Jesus taught, his main thing, the everlasting life and the resurrection of the body. And he was first. And we will experience the same thing. The same thing as these 7 brothers. The same thing as the mother. The same thing as Jesus, and the same thing as your parents and great parents and all the people of God. Why would they only put half the story in the first reading? I don't know. But that's the rest of the story. Have a good day.